The reality is one and the same. The difference is in name and form. Work is only a means to the realization of God. Man can realize God if he wants to, but he madly craves the enjoyment of woman and gold. The snake has a precious stone 9 in its head, but it is perfectly satisfied to eat a mere frog. One should not think, my religion alone is the right path and other religions are false. God can be realized by means of all paths. It is enough to have sincere yearning for God. Infinite are the paths and infinite the opinions. I'm creating a barrier in front of my face with this towel. Now you can't see me, even though I am so near. Likewise, God is the nearest of all, but we cannot see him on account of this covering of Maya. The Jiva is nothing but the embodiment of Satchidananda. But since Maya, or ego, has created various upadis, he has forgotten his real self. One can get rid of the ego after the attainment of knowledge. On attaining knowledge, one goes into samadhi, and the ego disappears. But it is very difficult to obtain such knowledge. Through selfless work, love of God grows in the heart. Then, through his grace, one realizes him in course of time. God can be seen. One can talk to him as I am talking to you. If you see someone engaged in reasoning even after he has realized God, you may liken him to a bee, which also buzzes a little even while sipping honey from a flower. Reaching the 7th plane, the mind is annihilated. Man goes into samadhi. What he feels then cannot be described in words. One cannot assimilate spiritual instruction unless one has already developed love of God. The reality is one and the same. The difference is in name and form. Work is only a means to the realization of God. He is born in vain, who having attained the human birth, so difficult to get, does not attempt to realize God in this very life. It is necessary to pray to him with a longing heart. If you first fortify yourself with the true knowledge of the universal self, and then live in the midst of wealth and worldliness, surely they will in no way affect you. When the flower blooms, the bees come uninvited. Disease is the tax which the soul pays for the body, as the tenant pays house rent for the use of the house. Pray to God that your attachment to such transitory things as wealth, name, and creature comforts may become less and less every day. Can he rectify false weight whose own scales are uncertain? Can you enlighten your neighbor while you yourself have no light? How dare you talk of helping the world? God alone can do that. First you must be made free from all sense of self. Then the Divine Mother will give you a task to do. Let's not go into the past. Now, we are going in a loop. In the scriptures you will find the way to realize God. But after getting all the information about the path, you must begin to work. Only then can you attain your goal. The name of God is identical with the Lord. The depth of the heart, the retired corner, and the forest are the 3 places for meditation. Who means who? The nearer you come to God, the more you feel peace. Peace, 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 supreme peace. You see many stars in the sky at night, but not when the sun rises. Can you therefore say that there are no stars in the heavens during the day? Because you cannot find God in the days of your ignorance, say not that there is no God. As long as I live, so long do I learn. The man who works for others, without any selfish motive, really does good to himself. God is in all men, but all men are not in God. That is why we suffer. Different creeds are but different paths to reach the same God. Common men talk bagfuls of religion but do not practice even a grain of it. The wise man speaks a little, even though his whole life is religion expressed in action. The winds of God's grace are always blowing. It is for us to raise our sails. If you must be mad, be it not for the things of the world. Be mad with the love of God. Finish the few duties you have at hand, and then you will have peace. Do not seek illumination unless you seek it as a man whose hair is on fire seeks a pond. Bondage and liberation are of the mind alone. God is everywhere, but he is most manifest in man. So serve man as God. That is as good as worshiping God. The goal of life is not the earning of money, but the service of God. p.114 inches. Bondage is of the mind. Freedom too is of the mind. If you say, I am a free soul, I am a son of God who can bind me, free you shall be. As long as I live, so long do I learn. That knowledge which purifies the mind and heart alone is true knowledge. All else is only a negation of knowledge. When divine vision is attained, all appear equal, and there remains no distinction of good and bad, or of high and low. It is easy to talk on religion, but difficult to practice it. Through selfless work, love of God grows in heart. Many good sayings are to be found in holy books, but merely reading them will not make one religious.